Okay, hello my friends, my name is Gerdes. Here are the three big stories for today. Actually, it's four because I want to show you this from Andrew Perpetua because we missed it this morning. I put my video out before his material was available. So the losses that he could identify for today: Russians 89, Ukraine 32. That's about a 3-to-1, and that's a pretty good day. And so thank you to Andrew Perpetua for his good work. Now the big story on everybody's mind is Trump nearly being assassinated last night. And while everybody is now almost racing with each other in order to put out something about how, see, and prove my point, as opposed to, no, see, prove my point. Yes, it's Trump's rhetoric that's causing this. No, it's the Democrats talking about this. And okay, I'm doing exactly the opposite. I think that Biden set the right tone yesterday when he said this. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Really grateful that he's doing well and recovering. We had a short but good conversation. Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired, and he lost his life. God love him. We're also praying for the full recovery of those who were injured. And we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation. As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence, or any violence for that matter. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation, everything. It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America. And we cannot allow this to happen. Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now, unity. We'll debate and we'll disagree. That's not going to change, but we're going to not lose sight, in fact, who we are as Americans.
No, that's good. That's a good tone, and I'm giving Joe Biden props. I'm about as Republican as you make them, and I think that's a good statement. Now, unity is elusive because you usually find unity when there's an outside threat. The rest of the time, we're always at each other. That's how human beings are. But this level of at each other shouldn't be. We should settle our disagreements with words, not with bullets. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. I think Trump set a good tone yesterday and today as well, believe it or not. Thank you to everyone. By the way, my position has not changed. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm also not voting for Biden. I don't think that Trump is healthy for what we need moving forward, but I'm not disparaging him or making political points at this moment in time, and neither should any of us, right? We're less than, at the time that I'm creating this video, less than 24 hours from the time when this incident happened yesterday, and so there'll be time to talk about what's going to happen politically or that sort of thing, but this is not the time. Thank you to everyone for your thoughts and prayers yesterday, as it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening. We will fear not, but instead remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness. Our love goes out to the other victims and their families. We pray for the recovery of those who were wounded and hold in our hearts the memory of the citizen who was so horribly killed. In this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans, remaining strong and determined and not allowing evil to win. I truly love our country and love all of you, and look forward to speaking to our great nation this week from Wisconsin. Okay, for a Trump tweet, yeah, this was on X. That's not bad, right? Okay. But again, setting the tone is important. If we want to be unified, instead of making these political points right now, let's listen to this. Speaker Mike Johnson, we've got to turn the rhetoric down. We've got to turn the temperature down in this country. We need leaders of all parties on both sides to call that out. Now, call it out to your own side, right? If you're on the left, tell others on the left, hey, knock it off. Let's take this down. I'm on the right. I'll be telling people on the right, hey, look, stop that. Don't do that. So if left is telling right and right is telling left, that's not going to get us anywhere. We need leaders of all parties on both sides to call that out, to make sure that that happens so that we can go forward. That's exactly the right kind of tone. Here's the Democrat governor of Pennsylvania. I think he spoke beautifully. Here we go. This is nonpartisan, saying these are the good, the right things, the healthy things that we should be saying if we want a flourishing society.
We lost a fellow Pennsylvanian last night, Corey. comparator. I just spoke to Corey's wife and Corey's 2 daughters. Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family. Corey was an avid supporter of the former president and was so excited to be there last night with him in the community. I asked Corey's wife if it would be okay for me to share that we spoke. She said yes. She also asked that I share with all of you that Corey died a hero, that Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us. May his memory be a blessing. Last night was shocking for this community and for this Commonwealth, and I know for this country. Political disagreements can never, ever be addressed through violence. Disagreements are okay, but we need to use a peaceful political process to settle those differences. This is a moment where all leaders have a responsibility to speak and act with moral clarity, where all leaders need to take down the temperature and rise above the hateful rhetoric that exists and search for a better, brighter future for this nation. It's the work that I try to do every day here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And that's the work that falls to each and every American right now. So I ask that you join me in prayer for the 2 Pennsylvanians who are in critical condition.
Okay, so that was a very good statement, solid statement, bringing us together, unifying, talking about taking down the temperature, the rhetoric. Now, Corey, he died as a hero. He was protecting his family. He knocked them down to the ground. You can see this here. He was the best dad a girl could ever ask for. The media will not tell you this, but he died a real-life superhero. They're not going to tell you how quickly he threw my mom and I to the ground. They're not going to tell you that he shielded my body from the bullet that came at us. He loved his family. He truly loved us enough to take a real bullet for us, and I want nothing more than to cry on him and tell him thank you. I want nothing more than to wake up and for this not to be reality for me and my family. We lost a selfless, loving husband, father, brother. Wow, right? Now, I've seen somebody that was looking at whatever, Facebook or whatever, and he wasn't a supporter of Ukraine, and they're saying, look at this guy. Can you not, like, this is not the moment for that. This is a moment where you look at him and say, you know, that is a good act. I'm sorry. It's really sad that he's not supporting a great cause like the Ukrainians in the war in Ukraine. But you can separate. You can look at the things that people are doing right, and you can still agree with them where they're doing right. Here's Zelensky. Not everybody agrees with Zelensky on everything, I'm sure, right? But he had amazing capacity to stand up when most people would have fled early on. I need ammunition, not a ride. And he was that lightning rod. I don't agree with him on everything, but you can find unity if you're looking for unity, or you can find places for division if you're looking for division. Here's what he had to say. An attempt on the life of Donald Trump, a heinous crime, one that can only be condemned, and which shows how serious the global challenges to democracy are right now. Violence in any form and anywhere must never prevail. I am confident that America will rise to the challenge. I wish Mr. Trump a speedy recovery. Strength and support to all who have been affected. May every evil intention fail, and may all who restore security truly do so. Glory to Ukraine. Now, you know, he's not unaware that Trump would probably not be healthy for Ukraine if Trump's elected. And yet, even Zelensky can find a place to say something nice about, you know, I hope that the victims recover and those kind of things, right? We should be looking for, that's the tone of a leader. In contrast, we see this. This is Maria Zakharova. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova, the U.S. should have invested that money in its internal security instead of funding terrorists from Kyiv. Okay, not terrorists, first of all, and one doesn't have anything to do with the other. But again, Russian media is already in overdrive trying to amp up the rhetoric. And don't fall for that, because really, I'm going to show you something here. This is Putin's Playbook. If you want to read one great book, read Putin's Playbook. I'll put the link below. Russia's Secret Plan to Defeat America. And what the Russians want to do is use any issue to divide, and they'll amp up Black Lives Matter and white supremacists simultaneously so that they can divide. That's what they want to do. Here's Ryan McBeth talking about what he saw just yesterday.
I will try to censor this for YouTube. And the initial misinformation started soon after the incident with claims that the incident was faked or staged. Karamo Brown, who's an activist and television host famous for the Netflix TV show Queer Eye, posted, "This looks staged. How did none of the people behind him get injured with all those shots?" Now, I took a look at Karamo Brown's background, and Karamo is not a firearms expert, but when you have 2.6 million followers, it would behoove you to be accurate or posting. So I think this one kind of started the ball rolling. Pretty soon, hashtags like fake assassination and staged shooting started to appear.
Okay, I'm going to skip forward just a little bit in his video.
In a nutshell, of all of these profiles that were talking about this fake assassination, a fully 45% were fake profiles according to Cyabra. And this had a reach of almost 600 million people.
And people are chiming off of these or arguing with these. Don't. Just be civil. Just leave it alone. Be kind. You won't get into this kind of trap. But again, think about it like this. What if Putin's goal is to amplify this kind of division and make it far, far worse? Don't fall into that trap. Now, what about this shooter? Trump's rally shooting, what we know about the suspected gunman. Was he a liberal? Was he conservative? What if he's neither, right? An early portrait that has emerged of a 20-year-old Pennsylvania man who authorities say tried to assassinate former Republican President Donald Trump. Public records show he shared a home with parents who were licensed behavioral care counselors. Those same records contain no mention of any criminal or traffic citations. He was a junior at school on the first day of Joe Biden's presidency when he donated $15 to the Progressive Turnout Project. He also registered as a Republican and was a Republican through the 22 midterm elections. So which side's he on? We don't know. Former schoolmate of Crooks at Bethel Park High School spoke with reporters. He was bullied almost every day. Crooks was eating alone at lunch. He drew derision from his peers who considered him a loner and an outcast. It's honestly kind of sad he was bullied so much. So maybe he's neither Republican nor Democrat. And Republicans are fighting with Democrats and Democrats are fighting with Republicans over what exactly? Because maybe he's just unbalanced. We just don't know. The facts aren't out there yet. Multiple people who were listening to the former U.S. president's speech outside the rally venue said that they spotted Crooks as he brought an AR-style rifle to the plant rooftop and took aim in the direction of the former president. But they said officers did not immediately react to their warnings. Yeah, we're going to hear more about that as time goes on. Crooks ultimately managed to fire several shots toward the stage where Trump was speaking, which was less than 500 feet away. That's about the size of 2 football fields in length. And thank God he wasn't that great of a shot because this could kick off a powder keg. ABC News cited multiple law enforcement sources who told the outlet that the rifle the gunman fired on Saturday had been purchased legally by the suspect's father, Matthew Crooks, who, can you imagine how he feels? The FBI identified Crooks as Trump's would-be assassin late on Saturday. On Sunday, the Bureau said all available information suggested Crooks acted alone. There were no immediate public safety concerns about a larger plot. Now, I want to end with this, because my call has been for civility, for not just trying to prove your political point. One, it's too soon. And two, how helpful will that be? Like, just try to be kind. And here's what I want to leave you with. This was John McCain back in the McCain-Obama election cycle. And listen to this.
I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's a He's an Arab. He is not. No.
No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you. Thank you. I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as President of the United States. Now, now look,
It also showed John's disdain for self.
Now, this is Obama at McCain's funeral.
He had been to hell and back, and yet somehow never lost his energy or his optimism or his zest for life. So cancer did not scare him, and he would maintain that buoyant spirit to the very end, too stubborn to sit still, opinionated as ever, fiercely devoted to his friends, and most of all to his family. It showed his irreverence, his sense of humor, a little bit of a mischievous streak. After all, what better way to get a last laugh than to make George and I say nice things about him to a national audience? And most of all, it showed a largeness of spirit.
That's where we should be, what we should be shooting for, folks. Even if our politicians don't act like adults, I can, you can, we can. And that's what I hope we'll do moving forward. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes. And thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine and humanity. I really do appreciate you being civil.